Ronald George, yeah.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call, please.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilman Wareham.
Here.
Councilman Creighton.
Here.
And Councilwoman Noack.
Here. Sitting as a Board of Water Commissioners, the Town Board to approve the minutes of Thursday, January 23rd, 2014, and to authorize Water District Superintendent Christopher Newstead and 3 other employees to enter chlorination training class on April 9, 2014 in Woodbury, New York.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes, we'll reconvene as a site plan review board. Site plan review board to approve the minutes of Tuesday, January 7, 2014, and to conditionally approve a site plan by Competition Infinity for a proposed addition to its motor vehicle showroom. And the owner of 400 North Courtney Road is requesting the Board of Site Plan Review to waive condition number 1 of their approval dated July 13th, 2010.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio.
We have reconvened as a town board. Town board to consider the town's entry onto real property located at 263-265 Indian Head Road in the county of Suffolk, reputedly owned by Crossroad Realty for the purpose of remediating and/or removing the structures, as well as any construction trailers thereat, which have been designated as unsafe in accordance with the unsafe building standards set forth in Chapter 112-25A of the Code of the Town, and pursuant to the recommendation of the Director of the Building Department and the Town Attorney.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board. My name is Martin Simon. I'm an Assistant Town Attorney for the Town of Smithtown. The purpose of today's sole public hearing is for the Town Board to consider the town's entry upon the property commonly known as 263-265 Indian Head Road, Kings Park, New York, for the purpose of the town's entering upon that site to remediate and/or remove a construction trailer and a steel structure which have been deemed unsafe by the building director pursuant to 11225 of the town code. Please take notice that we've given each of you a copy of that unsafe finding. It's with your agenda materials today. It's on the bottom. That's the report. We've also provided a report to the town clerk for filing. It is my understanding that the managing member of Crossroad Realty New York LLC, the owner of this property, is here today and is looking for an adjournment of this public hearing and does further wish to address the board.
Okay, is that member of Crossroad Realty here?
I am.
Do you mind addressing the board? Come to the podium, please.
What would you like me to do, state my name?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Name and
Crossroads
address.
Realty, New York LLC. My name is Russell Furia. Reference to the subject property, I have met with the town, and we will once again attempt to secure the perimeter of the building. We've done it previously, and the chain link fence that I put around the building, disappeared within about 48 hours because the area that it's located in is a fairly desolate area at night. They discussed in the report putting some caps on the rebar. They're about $1.40 and change a piece. We put a few hundred on the rebar. They also disappeared, in 2 or 3 days' time because they're easy to put in your pocket or a bucket, and you make a half a grand in a limited period of time. The next question probably that comes up is, what is the status of this building? Well, the status is the world has decided it's not going to end. The banking system has come back to life. They're entertaining applications from people that have asset-based loans and good credit scores. I am one of those individuals. We had a notice, okay, from a bank, okay, a strong notice, a letter of intent, going back into last June. In July, I started with the BZA to try to get the variances back. The BZA would not grant the variances back. They put a condition on that I remove the construction trailer. I told them, guys, okay, if we're going to build this and it's going to go into the winter a little bit and for storage and everything else, and once, because of the building's location, we start construction, we're going to want a nighttime guard on the place, okay, 12 to 14 hours a day to make sure the place doesn't disappear. There's 86 windows in it. That's a lot of glass to get broken. We feel the construction trailer is necessary. It's hooked up to the electric. We paid for the electric. We paid for the pole. The trailer's there. It's not in the best of condition, okay, but it's usable. And it's typical for a construction site. All right, so we are looking to go forward. The BZA didn't grant the variances. I called them, talked to them. They wouldn't do it. Met with Martin, okay. They had issued a couple of, citations on the site, violations, I guess you call them. And we couldn't make any progress, so I sued the BZA to get my variances back. Your town attorney, Mr. Martin Simon, indicated I needed to do an Article 78. I did it. I'm waiting for the outcome. All right, I would think that you would just say, okay, here's your variances, bang, go to work. But it hasn't happened. All right, the building's worth too much money to knock down. There's nothing structurally wrong with the existing structure. The construction trailer, okay, will leave the site, okay, upon completion of the building, probably before completion of the building, that's typical. And I've spoken with your building department, who has a meeting with me on Thursday at 10 o'clock to be out at the site to review what we're going to do once again to try to keep the kids in the neighborhood from coming onto the site.
When was that project started?
The project was started late 2006, I believe. Okay, actually I broke ground, okay, somewhere around 2001, but the first building permit, we put it in,
So it's 7 years in that condition, at least not in the rundown condition, but it's in that.
You're right, Mr. Vecchio. It's about 6, plus years since work stopped on it. But it was a function of the economy, okay? You wake up one morning and your credit line is gone. You got a 787 credit score and you have assets and you didn't do anything wrong. And there's 634 of these structures that I've been kind of following in Cranes, New York, okay, with steel in the air throughout the local metropolitan area, Long Island and into Brooklyn. 634 projects that have come back to life slowly but surely in the last year.
What were the variances you sought and got and received?
It's like miscellaneous variances, setbacks, side yard setbacks. The actual town wanted it pushed all the way up to the...
Okay, but now those variants have disappeared because of the time lag?
The variances disappeared because the architect, okay, who had power of attorney on the project, somehow or another it didn't get communicated to me properly and I didn't pay the fee. I kept paying the town building permit fees, but that fee lapsed. And then when it was discovered by the bank in the process of doing my loan commitment, that they didn't exist, I went back to Dave Flynn and I asked Dave Flynn to help me out with it, and he tried to help me out with it, and then it wound up in Martin's hands, and then we wound up with an Article 78.
How many renewals of the building permit have you had?
I couldn't answer that off the top of my
Quite a
head.
few, correct?
Several.
Okay.
You got several fees too. I mean, $5,000 a hit for a renewal fee, okay? I mean, the town has made some money on the deal.
Okay, we've heard you. I think we'll take what you said on the advisement and...
We're dedicated to this project. I'm going to finish the project, okay? I'm gearing to go right now. I have I actually have 3 situations in progress. One on private money, semi-hard money, one with a bank, and one with a partner. Now, all I need is my permits back, and I'm back in business. All right? The reason why this project is not going forward is because of the BZA. And the reason why it's not going forward beyond that is because of the town. Now, when Bongino was in the town, I talked to him, okay? He indicated to me, don't worry about the BZA. But last December, a year ago December, when I went in to see him and renew my permits, He told me, well, you have to have the BZA in there.
Mr. Furia, it just seems to me that you've laid blame on the town.
No, not
Well,
laying
now,
blame
allow
on
me
the
to
town. It's an
finish. That's
administrative
what you
process,
ju-
I understand.
That's what you just said, and you have done nothing in 7 years. Now you're asking the town board to put it off again, based on new financing, et cetera.
Well, in this period of time, okay, if you looked at your property values in the local area, they diminished so significantly, anybody looking to get out couldn't get out. Anybody looking to finish anything couldn't get a loan.
Okay, we'll take what you said under advisement. We'll talk to the town attorney, and we'll advise you. Is that okay, board?
Yep.
All right.
Okay?
Where does that leave me?
You'll hear from the town attorney.
Well, okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
Under,
Do you move to close the hearing?
you wait.
That's all we have for now.
Okay, I'll move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Yes. We have a second reading for the parade, Judy's Run for Stroke Awareness, Kings Park Youth Organization Opening Day, Mount Pleasant Elementary School Road Race. Anybody wish to be heard for or against those three permits? We'll move on. We'll have first readings for
We
the
got a
NISC.
few more. There's
Oh, I
like,
know that.
okay.
We have first readings for the Nisququogue River State Park Run, St. James Chamber of Commerce Parade, St. Patrick's Day Parade, Wisconsin Athletic League Opening Day Parade, St. James Chamber of Commerce Halloween Parade, St. James Chamber of Commerce St. James Day Festival, and the Smithtown Chamber running at the Bull K Run first reading. Anybody wish to be heard against for those? Okay, an advertisement for public hearing, the town board to authorize the clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at the town boardroom to consider amending chapter 322 zoning of the town of Smithtown as proposed amendments to chapter 322 of the code as it relates to use regulations.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Here's the town board to advertise the following bids to be returned to town hall at the dates and time indicated: concrete curbs and sidewalks, full depth road restoration, crack and joint sealing, bearings, chains, and sprockets, shirts, silk screen for various town departments.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes, town board to award the following bids and authorize the purchase of the goods and services. A bid for the removal of leachate to Russell Reed Waste Hauling, and a bid for precast concrete drainage items as per the bid opening on January 9th.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Town board to authorize the clerk to advertise for following requests for proposals for concession sales at town facilities.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes, town board to approve the following minutes of Tuesday, December 17th, 2013. The town board to authorize a refund in the amount of $100 to Adeline Swanson. The reduction in cash in lieu of performance bond in the amount of $317,050 to $67,050. Amendment to the town board resolution number 2014-34 to read as follows: extension of agreement with L.K. McLean Associates to provide monthly landfill gas reports for the Montclair Avenue landfill. 2 town employees from the Department of Environmental Waterways to attend Nassau Suffolk Landscape Garden Association Turf Plant and Tree Conference. Brian Fusigna, engineering expected to attend the New York DEC mandated erosion and sediment control training course. John DeBella, principal engineering inspector, and Tony Antunes to attend the New York State DEC mandated erosion and sediment control training course. Town clerk to issue a parade walk permit to the Kings Park Youth Organization. Also, town clerk to issue a parade walk for Judy's Run, and town clerk to issue a parade walk permit for Mount Elementary School.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Item number 5, the town board to authorize the controller to execute the following transfers A through G and increase in revenue codes of the printed agenda.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following and form approved by the town attorney as per 6A specialized agreement.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Town board to approve settlement in the following matters per recommendation of the town attorney as per 7A and B, $2,195.30 and $2,500.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Number 8, the town board to authorize acceptance of the following as per 8A and B, cash in lieu of performance bond and escrows.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yeah, yes, we do, yes.
Personnel, the town board to approve the following personnel as 9A and B, promotion of John Gerlich, effective July 2nd, 2014, and part-time appointment of Stephen Cantrell, effective February 10th, 2014.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes. We have these read-ons.
Read-ons, designation of William White as acting building director for the purpose of executing building permits, certificate of occupancy, and other documents as may be required for a period of 30 days from February 4th, 2014 through March 6, 2014, at no additional compensation.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
The Highway Department to purchase 2 snow blowers from Northeast Equipment, Inc.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Full-time temporary appointment of Daniel Spinella. Full-time temporary appointment of Daniel Spinella to the position of laborer in the sanitation department, a rate of pay of $16.50 per hour, not including benefits, effective February 8th, 2014. The work week will be Tuesday through Saturday.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Wareham?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes. Okay. That concludes the resolutions. Mary Ellen Sconzo, wish to be heard?
There's a statement. So, I'm Mary Ellen Sconzo. My address is 144 Montclair Avenue. Good
Could you pull the
afternoon.
mic down, Mrs. Sconzo? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisor Vecchio and Council of Board. My name is Mary Ellen Sconzo. I have lived in St. James all of my life. I'm current resident of 144 Montclair Avenue with my husband and children, which is north of Rutherford Avenue. I emailed each one of you about 2 weeks ago because I could not attend the last town board meeting due to that I work nights as a nurse. I'm assuming you all received that email. I didn't hear back for any of you guys. I know you have all heard our concerns regarding the new plans for Montclair Highway Yard. I just have a couple of issues that I would like you to think about and consider while making your decisions. I'm just very nervous. Safety is a big concern of mine. We have a lot of children in our neighborhood. The cars are constantly speeding down Montclair from Middle Country, sometimes blowing through the stop signs at Rutherford and Montclair. 3 out of the 5 times, it's usually the car dealerships test driving. Why they don't see the dead-end sign is beyond me. Dart Fuel Company comes from a yard on Arlington, blowing through the stop sign from Rutherford to Montclair. At any point, Suffolk County PD or our own Smithtown Public Safety can sit there and write numerous tickets, but they don't. My husband personally trims the trees so all the stop signs and dead ends can be seen. I've emailed the traffic department, Mr. Mitchell Crowley, numerous times over the years regarding these safety issues, and was always told they would look into it. It's an accident waiting to happen. My concerns is that with the increased traffic of dropping off waste materials to the new yard it is that it's possible people not familiar with the surrounding development and the dead ends will have increased safety issues. Mr. DeRubius mentioned in the Smithtown News that some of his ideas. A chicane, which is a winding road, it may deter the trucks, but I think it will entice people to see driving how it handles. A traffic light, a traffic on Middle Country Road, we all know is horrendous. At many times during the day, the traffic is backed up all the way to Terry Road. Adding stop signs, they already all blow through them. Mr. Barnett had said it was only the residents to drop off building and other waste. How can we prove that a resident drives up with his license in a truck loaded with debris, no sign on the truck, and that he's not a contractor dropping off waste from the day before? Also, my understanding is the Kings Park Waste Station has trucks lined up waiting for the gates to open in the morning. Surely that's not all homeowners. As I said before, I work nights as a nurse. I'm concerned about the noise level and what we will be hearing during the day if stumps are being grinded. Recently, it was done and our houses were shaking. I appreciate your time. Please take, these consider our concerns.
Ms. Conzo, did you happen to see the tape of the meeting since you weren't there?
My husband was actually there, and he was not called to speak.
Oh,
at the
yes,
last-
that's right. We
so-
somehow or other got lost.
Yes,
in the-
but he
Okay,
did say he
but
spoke to you and Mr.
I just
Barnett.
want to point out that the environmental director who did a survey
Mm-hmm.
of how many residents brought demolition debris to the Kings Park site,
Right,
and it averages 11 per day.
yeah,
There will be no outside contractors. And he also indicated the highway department won't be delivering snow there anymore.
right.
So
I
that traffic
understand
is
that.
gone. And the grinder will be a new grinder.
Okay,
And the grinder that you hear the noise at Shake's House, we contracted with a company to make that site compliant with the DEC. And those were the grinding of stumps, which is not normally done.
okay.
So the new grinder would be less intrusive. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you. Ms.
Thank you.
Cotto. Is this Linda Jablonski?
Hello. I'm here about 927 Jericho Turnpike, Prisco Realty. I have spoken to, or either myself or my neighbors have spoken to or emailed all of you, and you have all been very helpful and very understanding. This business has gone before the BZA, and they have received some zoning changes. We weren't happy with those changes, but we accept them, because at least this property will get cleaned up. Now I understand that Mr. Prisco will be going back to the BZA to ask for an extension. It's been 11 years that we've been waiting to have this property cleaned up. We feel like enough is enough. It's time to clean up this property. I know his attorney claims that he missed the deadline. I'm sure he doesn't miss deadlines when he's bidding on contracts. So my question is there any way that these extensions can be stopped?
Why don't you speak to what you said this morning? You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
The town board is allowed by law to discuss a future BZA action as long as we do it in public session. And it was Mr. McCarthy's recommendation to do that, and he indicated we ought to send an advisory to the BZA not to give that 6-month extension, but to give a lesser amount, and also to include in whatever amount of time that the plantings be installed on April 1st thereafter.
Okay, thank you. Now, in the meantime, is he considered an eligible bidder for a town contract or not?
That's a legal question. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, we'd have to review that on a case-by-case basis. We couldn't make a predetermination.
Talking to Mike, Matthew.
Well, we couldn't make a predetermination on that. It's a case-by-case basis.
Okay,
Thank you, Mrs. Jablonski.
thank you.
Robert Demustis.
Robert Demustis, 145 Montclair Avenue. Good afternoon, members of the board and Supervisor Vecchio. I'd like to comment on statements made by the Planning Board Director, Mr. DeRubius, to the Smithtown News during an interview for not closing of Montclair as we proposed. Place additional stop signs throughout the neighborhood to deter trucks. Like I said, there's only 2 streets that don't have stop signs. And right now, you can go down there any day and just watch them blow through the stop signs anyhow, so it doesn't really matter, okay? Issues of placing light on Middle Country Road, clogging up traffic. The road is clogged now, we all know that. Maybe better timing is needed during certain hours of the day. Also, with it closed, fewer vehicles will use it as a shortcut, through cut, which should minimize the amount of vehicles entering Middle Country Road. It will only be the small amount of vehicles that enter and exit from the industrial area on the east side of the road. And maybe another 10 to 11 resident vehicles that will deliver waste to the new site, as quoted by Mr. Barnett. And since waste will be so reduced, we should not see the need for all of the highway trucks traveling on Montclair. To make a chicane on the street will only change it for a drag strip, from a drag strip, which we presently see all the time, to a race car track, where the car dealers can go down there and demonstrate their cars and test their cars, as well as residents who will use it as a great way to test their cars out. Lastly, to make it one way, it still will allow all vehicles to pass through the residential neighborhood to shortcut the traffic that is presently bottlenecked east of Montclair on Middle Country Road. And you will impact your traffic light concerns. If it's a one-way, it's going south, everybody's shortcutting through, they're going to want to get out. As far as an emergency vehicle issue indicated by Mr. Vecchio, my proposal to leave one lane in with a locked gate eliminates that issue. I have already discussed that issue with the chiefs, first assistant chief and chief of the Wisconsin Fire Department, and they had no issue with that. We're already doing that in a lot of our town parks in the fire service where we have keys to get in where they're locked. And a question to Mr. Barnett. I truly hope you have a better sound barrier plan for the grinder than what we experienced this past Monday. My windows, as indicated, my windows were shaking also. In closing, I still think the proposal